reintroduce myself?
Yeah, yeah. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Yep. Cool. I'm Pat Hilsman. I'm a journalist and researcher. I've worked on Syria and I lived in Ukraine for a bit. I'm friends with Lucy and friends with Lucy's friend Dylan Burns, and I'm heading back to Ukraine soon, I hope. And this is my dog Ingrid.
Nice. I thought I heard a noise.
Is the siren still going?
The siren ended. Let's check actually what it's about. Sometimes it's a nothing burger, and sometimes it's a
Yeah, but it
whole.
might be a big one,
They've been a lot lately of big ones. So missiles. I've actually interviewed people that whose buildings were hit by the big ones recently.
Mm.
Like a kid who went to the basement and their building was hit that one time when they decided to go to the basement.
So they got lucky, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's more than yeah, they do. Like I interviewed a one woman, who was like, I went to the shelter with my dog that one time and the building block got hit by a missile and a bunch of people died. And I never go to the shelter usually, she said.
I usually didn't either, but I actually think people probably should.
Probably, yeah. But
Like
I
a
just
best practice.
yeah. Let's see, New West Kiev. Let's see what it's about. Same couple of days that Russia was estimating for the fall of Kiev. Kiev issues air raid alerts as authorities urge residents to seek shelter amid a potential aerial threat. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe there'll be missiles, maybe there'll be drones. All right. I have a few questions for the audience. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Well, first of all, somebody in the audience wrote that 97% of Ukrainians do not support Palestine. What do you think of that?
I think that's probably not true if you depending on how you ask the question.
Yeah.
I think most of them probably that Ukraine recognizes Palestine as a state. I think Zelensky's positions are pretty close to a standard European position, which is neither overtly hostile to Israel, but definitely critical of some of their actions, I would say, and definitely somebody that supports international law versus an Israel that's very hostile to international law now.
Speaking of the devil,
So I don't know if that.
my Ukrainian viewer told me you should be ashamed of yourself, Lucy, for not thinking about Palestine in this moment.
Are they joking?
There you go.
Yeah, because you're being bombed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
They have a
understand why.
very ironic
That it's
name
their
as well.
business.
Do you know what their sarcastic name is? Because of the, you'll get the name. You know what their YouTube name is?
What's their YouTube name?
It's Ukrainian Nazi in real life.
Okay.
Because of the whole.
Is it ironic or no? No, I mean, also there's a lot of there's been a lot of trade ties in the past. Israel was sort of a democracy back in the day. I don't know. I would argue that it's not really functioning as a democracy now, but it had democratic institutions, and I think that a lot of people from Eastern Europe escaped to Israel. So I understand why there's sort of a natural affinity between the countries, but I also think that it depends on how you ask the question.
Yeah.
And also then there's the reality of how Israel and Russia behave together. Like Israel is absolutely like a banking hub for Israel. They wash a lot of money through there. Israel provided Russia with some of the drones that they use to upgrade their fleet. So Israeli drones have actually been used to target the Ukrainian military and Ukrainian civilians. Yeah, I'd say Russia has launched almost all of Israel's spy satellites. What else? Yeah, there's just the ties are so deep that it's inconceivable that Israel would be a real ally to Ukraine under any circumstance.
Yeah, and has also very openly refused to give any weapons to Ukraine. That's been a thing for the longest time. And
there's been some defensive stuff.
Yeah, that
I think
they refused to share anti-air with Ukraine, as far as I remember.
So Israel is way out of line. Like if I understand that they have a perception as like this hardline country that opposes Iran, which is also another reason that I'm sure Ukrainians are not pissed off about, like the Ayatollah being taken out, the leader that has sent tens of thousands of drones into Kyiv.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the design they've been now Russia produces them, but Shaheds are like.
Yeah, but all these places in the world exist, and they're all being bombed. And I think that the political leaders in the world that support these things are getting closer and closer to each other. And I think that there's sort of an axis of authoritarianism that's formed with Israel, Arabia, Russia. Turkey. All the countries that want to be able to act with impunity and despise international law are natural allies to one another.
I've got another question for you from a viewer.
Sure.
Very is there a path to organizing citizen journalists to counteract the agenda of corporate journalists?
Yeah, of course. Like I work with two independent outlets, Offbeat Research and Turning Point Magazine, and both of us aren't like beholden to any corporate interests, and we just try to report as best we can. We have some reach. We don't have a huge reach. The thing that does baffle me though is that these big corporate media conglomerates are like kind of effing themselves. Like I don't understand their behavior. It doesn't make sense. Even from a purely greedy perspective, even if you just only care about money and don't care about journalism, they're still messing it up because they're producing a product that like nobody wants. You know, people are very interested in the news, but if you go on like CNN's website or on their YouTube channel, which is how most people get the news, you're not going to have fast updates. You're not going to have on the ground reporting usually.
Yeah.
So I think that anybody, if it was corporate or independent, that did just good, straightforward reporting would do very well.
Yeah, like I try to do. Like I've had a busy day recently. I've interviewed 7 people.
All survivors of strikes?
Yes, and of different backgrounds. Like one person he works in information, like in media information. He did not only have interesting stuff to say about the day that the building was hit, but also about his work with Russian information warfare.
Yeah, I've covered some of that.
Yes, he told me that the recent big change in the Russian information sphere is that it used to be join the military and you're gonna get a lot of cash and you're gonna be very glorious and you're gonna be a great soldier. And now the narrative has shifted because Ukraine has been conducting the deep strikes. And so now the narrative is we are hurting and little Timmy got hurt and you must enlist so that you can get back at them.
Right.
So
do you think that that's making it easier for them to recruit?
It probably makes it cheaper, I would say.
I think it would be a hard sell to anybody. Like it doesn't seem like they're, I don't know, like it seems like the first couple of weeks where the war has really hit home for Russians.
Well, apparently the narrative is usually free. The stories are about 3 people. I think one, like maybe parents and a child that got hurt by the evil Ukrainian strikes, and now you have to enlist and get revenge.
Interesting. How much of it is fake?
Yeah, but it has become the narrative that replaces the big money, and being a soldier is just simply. Oh,
are you all right? Did I just hear something go boom?
I thought I heard something go boom. Did you hear it?
I did, yeah. There's a thunderstorm here in New York, so I don't know.
Oh, I actually flinch more at lightning than bombs going off.
Oh, I flinch at everything. It's so embarrassing. Like it doesn't get better. It sucks. Although part of it is also from like roughhousing with my friends when I was a kid. Like we would kind of like almost bare fist box a lot. So it's like
bare fist boxing is in a way people don't.
No, that makes it sound way cooler than it is. I'm just saying that like we were.
Is safer, did you know?
It's more what?
Safer.
Then what kind of boxing is?
Regular with gloves.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because the boxing with gloves goes on for longer. The matches per hands.
So it's not about like your face being broken. It's about your brain being fucked by impact, right?
Yeah, because the longer you fight, the more long-term damage you get, and the faster it ends. It just ends. This makes sense, right?
It's a hell of a sport. I don't know if I would want to do that.
You don't like watching boxing?
Watching it's amazing. It's like the artistry of the sport is incredible.
Oh, you're also a big fan of boxing?
I'm not. I'd be lying if I said I was like a fan that like knows the history of it or anything. But there's only certain sports that I like to watch. That's one of them, definitely.
Damn.
But I just wish there was a way to make it so that they don't get pummeled into like having mental problems.
I guess all of the people that go to do journalism in Ukraine like boxing, I guess.
Yeah, it's part of the culture in Ukraine, I think.
Yeah, it's
I
part
think
of the
under
culture.
under under authoritarian communism, I think that one of the only things that people really can do to pass the time is punch each other in the face.
Oh
And I think
God.
America's kind of going that route right now.
Have you watched
We
the
had the big
Usyk fight?
UFC on the.
All the famous all the Usyk fight?
It was quite something. I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's like. I think it's pretty much the least offensive thing that Trump has done is the UFC on the White House. So I don't know. Like, I guess it's good that people are pushing back, but
Yeah,
everything he's done to me, that one is just funny.
excellent.
Any other questions?
Yes, I will ask. Do any of you have any other questions for the guest? Follow up. What is the support of Palestine from the Ukrainian society?
I don't know for sure because I don't know all of Ukrainian society. I know a lot of Ukrainians that are kind of pro-Israel that have sort of shifted away. I know somebody that I debated on Polish TV,
On Polish
and
TV?
on Polish TV, yeah, and he was a guy that was saying that we should support. He was saying that we should support Israel. He wasn't like a fanatic or anything, but he was saying that it was right after October 7th, and he was saying we should support Israel. And I was saying that just this government in Israel can never be trusted. Like it will, if it's empowered, it will commit terrible actions, basically. And a couple years later, I've noticed that he's become somebody that's pretty critical of at least Netanyahu. And I don't know. It's just they're doing a lot of the same kind of violence that Russia is doing. And I also think that Ukraine, like the honor of Ukrainians, has been really damaging to Israel because you see how Ukrainians fight. I'm not pretending that there's never been innocent people caught up in this war on the Russian side, but the comparison to how many Ukrainian, Putin is targeting Ukraine's population, and Ukraine is taking huge efforts to not harm civilians. It's not perfect, and it's anything that happens is horrible. But I'm sorry, you can see the intent behind it. People are capable of seeing the difference between blowing up an oil refinery when there's the least number of people there, or damaging the engine room of a ship, versus what the Israelis do, which is if there's a single person that fits an AI constructed profile of what a terrorist is, they'll completely obliterate a building, or they'll completely eradicate a city block.
Or just say there's human shields.
Yeah, and Ukraine is dealing with a country, Russia, that uses human shields. Their entire strategy has been to capture parts of Ukraine and use the entire population as human shields.
Well,
and Ukraine has
human soldiers
and as cannon fodder too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
But-
to accept the Russian passport and get enlisted.
And of course, there have been mistakes and excesses, and at certain times there might have been things that were done that were intentionally to harm civilians. But I don't think there's any kind of realistic comparison between how Ukraine has fought honorably and how Israel is just doing terrorism because something terrible happened to them.
Yeah, and also there is a bit of a longer history than October 7th, but that's no.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty. I will. Oh yeah. And we also speak because you debated the person on Polish TV, right?
Mhm.
But our glorious organization for which I do volunteering, Track Ukraine, has a magnificent ambassador on board that is very pro-Palestine, as I understand it.
Are you talking about? Yeah.
Sorry?
Absolutely.
Yes. Oop, I disconnected by mistake. God. Hello again.
Understand that if Ukraine behaved like Israel, they'd be fucked. And I think that more and more Ukrainians are realizing that.
I agree wholeheartedly with this.
And also, this is an argument that I like to use, is that to me, I think a guy like Zelensky, he's not perfect, but I think that in a lot of ways he embodies, I mean, I'm not Jewish, but like, I think he does embody a lot of those really important Jewish values, like doing what's righteous, even if the odds are impossibly stacked against you, or like telling the truth, even if it will result in you maybe being destroyed. Like, I do think that even though he's not a perfect person, he does sort of embody a lot of really good Jewish values. And then you see a guy like Netanyahu, who's just like a fucking bastard. And like, it's just the people can see Zelensky in certain parts of the world that maybe weren't open to Jewish people, like the Middle East, sort of see like a different side. And they see somebody that he is a very Jewish guy and he represents very good values. And for for the world, I think that comparing that to a guy like Netanyahu, who's calling every single criticism anti-Semitic, it creates such a contrast that I do think that regardless of intent, Ukraine has kind of fucked Israel because Ukraine has fought pretty honorably overall.
Yeah, although I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, it's a bad thing how Israel's doing it, but I think it's a good thing that Ukraine has shown that you can fight a stronger enemy that has nuclear weapons without trying to murder the population of your enemy.
I think the West has dropped the ball with Ukraine.
Completely.
Right. I have invited you here today so that we could talk some history because as I understand it, apart from being a journalist, you also are a history nerd.
History nerd is the right word for it. A historian would be wrong because I read more articles than books. So
you haven't read any books?
I've read books, but just
inherited a library after my father and grandfather.
So you read a lot of books.
I try. I have a lot of books.
It's respectable. It's a weakness. I read so many articles every single day that it's hard for me to sit down and read for like fun.
Yeah, I read.
If that makes sense.
Too. And yeah, I know. I read a lot of articles. So I've been reading a new book lately. It's called To Kill with Hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the Holodomor.
Yeah.
It's a big thing, a big discussion. Many Western left-leaning Marxist-Leninists do not believe that it was an actual genocide. Are you familiar with these types of people?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the arguments.
Have you ever debated the Holodomor?
I haven't really felt the need to because I think it's kind of obvious. Like their argument is that all of the Soviet Union was experiencing hardship, but it's like this is how genocides were conducted. Like before murdering some Jews, some were put to work during the Holocaust. It doesn't mean that it wasn't genocide. Like just because it was a way for them to, just because it was a way essentially for the Soviet Union to try and make money, doesn't mean that it's not a genocide.
Yeah, but also the argument that other peoples died as well. That's not an argument. It's like saying the Holocaust was not a genocide. Look, the Roma people also died.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right. It's like we threw in some other groups to terrorize to make it so that it's like a rainbow victim.
It's silly because you can commit a genocide against more than one group at the same time.
And you can in a way you can commit it against your own people and another group.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Vladimir, the Ukrainian viewer, says, yeah, Benjamin did a little bit of war crimes. Yeah, IDF is not the world's most moral army, but surely America is going to support the state of Israel no matter what, right?
I don't think so. I think a lot of the motion that's happened right now, again, I think that the way that like young Jewish Americans have responded has been really awesome. Like, I think that people have gone really out of their way to just be like, fuck this shit. Like, this is not us. And that's really, and what's cool is like, if you want to talk about Jewish street power in America, it's on the side of peace, which is cool. If you want to get a bunch of Jews together to make some noise in the street, you're going to do it for Palestine. You're not going to do it for Israel. It's not going to work. Not in America anymore.
The question is, will the Trump administration be receptive to that kind of sentiment?
I think they'll have to be. And if you look at the way that Vance is either way, like if Trump's health fails or something, or he resigns or whatever, pretty unlikely, Vance would be president. But otherwise, he'll never, ever, ever be president. Like, he's disgusting. Of the entire administration, it's really interesting that he's the one that apparently disgusts women the most. Is Vance. JD Vance. And like and it's because I don't know exactly what it is, but it's because there's like the skis ball fucking factor to him. It's not like Stephen Miller comes off as just like a fucking like, I don't know, just like an evil bastard, and like, you know, Bannon's not in the administration, but that guy comes off as like a schemer, and you know, like he just has a chip on his shoulder or whatever. But Vance just comes off as someone that's like trying to kidnap your kids.
Oh God!
Like it's they just have this like. It's the level of insincerity is really astonishing. Like, you know, he's trying to embrace white nationalism, but his wife is Hindu and his kids are mixed.
But it's
not
really that uncommon that a person that has a
But
person of color as a spouse is a mega racist. Like I don't. I know I'm going to a very niche story here, but you know Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah.
So there was this at the beginning of Dungeons and Dragons. There was this whole within Dungeons and Dragons system made
Oh
by a
shit.
person. Not I don't remember the name. I'm blanking out on the name. That has a whole fleshed out world. It was kind of vaguely um, Eastern kind of flavored. It had very deep world building, and then it turned out later that the creator was a mega Nazi, and he had a wife that was from India, I believe.
Oh wow. Yeah. There's a lot of like that, but it just comes off as like a opportunist, I think.
Hmm. But I don't think Trump likes JD Vance either. I think he said that he would not endorse him.
Did he say that recently?
Not recently, but the media has been reporting that the endorsement is not guaranteed. That is the
That's
current.
fucking hilarious.
So that I find, yeah, that is.
Honestly, if Trump had zero, like if all he was in charge of was like a taxi or I don't know, like, he's not, he doesn't come up with a company that's more the way he has a circumstance than some of the people around him.
Yeah.
Like Vance is sinister. I might run out of power. Sorry, my charger appears to be broken.
Yeah, because you're breaking up a bit.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, but it's okay. We're gonna, you know, get
Oh,
through this. Especially since there's been no explosions tonight. So it's a calm night. There's been an explosion in the Mykolaiv district. No, there's been a Mykolaiv district some time ago. See, I've got an app with me. You still here? Hello? Wait, what's on brand? It's on brand on my stream that my guests freeze or that there's bombing. Right? Hello? 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 Tech support issues. Oh, yeah. Should I just leave and rejoin? I don't know it's on my end or what. No, now I'm alone in a call, so I think it was on the end. Yeah, I think his phone died. So I'm gonna wait for him to call me again, and then we can, you know. How do you like the conversation? The interview is finished? No, I think that's just technical issues. How do you like my conversation with the cool journalist? See, I have cool guests, don't I? Don't I have cool guests? Like I provide best content for all of you. So you like boom, you know, recommend. I should ask a few questions about maybe not. Do you have any questions for what does it sound? Do you have any questions for Patrick for when you return? Hello.
hey, it didn't freeze. It ran out of power.
Yeah, it froze.
Can you see me now?
But you're back now. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, cool. All right, where were we?
Yes. I have to turn you back on, and you will be turned on. No pun intended.
No.
But yes, also if JD Vance creeps out woman, then maybe you know she should just find a boyfriend. That's an alternative.
He just needs to find a new family.
A new family.
Yeah.
Rusty from my chat asks one question: Are wars mainly started by oligarchs?
Depends what kind of war. I'd say colonial wars, yes. Like Belgian Congo, Algeria. I feel like a lot of people that were trying to like maintain the French economic interests there were kept the war going, and I think yeah, a lot of colonial wars might be prolonged by oligarchs. Let's say.
What about the very super famous Vietnam War?
I don't know. I think ideologues probably.
Sorry?
Ideologues probably.
Because remember that was also a colonial war as it's called, right? France wanted to regain its colony.
Yeah, but I think for them, for the French probably because for them there was like a lot of economic interest. But for America, I don't know how much economic interest there was for America. So I think it's maybe different. But I can't like pronounce a judgment on like who caused which war, you know. But it's definitely part of like the exploitation of.
The viewer said that Vance will always have the couch, so he doesn't have to worry about a new family.
It must be really weird because like he's a Catholic convert. He talks a big deal to him, and Pope has essentially said that
He's a Catholic
like
now?
that. Yeah, he's a Catholic. He released a book about becoming. I think it's called God Chose Me.
God chose me, gosh.
I think that's what it's called.
Did he used to be a Protestant or something?
I guess so. I don't think he was a Muslim.
Non-denominational Protestant?
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't know.
You know what the funny thing that happened to me lately during an interview was? Because I interviewed a 17-year-old that was finishing high school, right? And I saw that he had an anime figurine and a video game poster, so I started asking him about video games. So I asked, "Have you played Stalker?" Right? And he said, "Stalker? No, I've never heard of it." He said, "Well, you know, the famous Ukrainian game. It was made in Ukraine. Stalker?" He's like, shakes his head. And then I said, "Oh, wait, Stalker." He's like, "Ah, yeah, yeah, I know it." You know? Yeah,
That's a trippy fucking game.
it is. It is a good game.
I have my Fallout, limited edition.
Wait, you got the limited edition of Stalker too?
No, I will get that.
Need
This
to
is for
get
Fallout.
you need to get some memorabilia, Stalker memorabilia when you're in Ukraine.
I have a friend that has
A tattoo. Oh yeah, the Stalker tattoo, right? On
Yeah.
on arm. Yeah, I'm familiar.
I need to start getting more Philly tattoos.
Wait, did he get that tattoo in Ukraine, right? Yeah. Were you present for the getting of the tattoo?
No.
Why didn't you get
I'm
a
probably actually for real heading back.
Why didn't you get a tattoo?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, but
I like it though. I think
you're not. Imagine if it was written with not Cyrillic.
yeah, it's got to be surreal.
Imagine if it wasn't though. If you had stalker on your arm and like, what? You are branded as a
No,
stalker?
don't want it.
That's whoa. Keep away from me.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's funny.
Keep away from me, stalker. Damn. So what are you gonna do in Ukraine?
Hopefully in bed.
Yeah. What are your embed plans? Am I getting an exclusive scoop into your plans in Ukraine?
I don't know if I can talk about it.
You can
And I also don't know, but I just plan on the civilian, the risks to civilians near the front line.
Oh, okay. Can you tell what type of units, or is that also a secret?
No, it's not secret. I want to
You're breaking up a
the civilian being targeted with drones.
Sorry?
So I want to cover Kherson because the civilians are being targeted with drones a lot.
I'm kind of looking to do a bigger thing on particularly families with children being harmed by bombings. The thing that I'm looking for.
You've been doing a lot of interviews.
Yeah, I've been doing some. I've interviewed also firefighters lately.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you know
That's gotta be a role job.
the big church that was hit recently, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah, so I was able to go there and film on the roof.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
shit.
being repaired as well, you know, during the interview.
How'd you get that?
Oh, my fixer got it.
Amazing. Oh, that's great.
But that was
You should try to, or I don't know. You should figure out a way to get like photography gig.
Sorry?
You should try to figure out a way to get freelance photography work.
To get what?
Freelance photography.
Oh, maybe. I did take photos on that day of the church, etc. Very interesting stories about, of course, there were the inevitable question that the firefighters was about double tapping, right? The typical Russian strategy.
Yeah, that shit's really scary.
Interestingly enough, on my feed on YouTube recommended to me a video of you and Dylan Burns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just heard an explosion.
Which one was it?
When you were out talking about stuff. Okay, that was a boom. Did you hear?
I did. Yeah, I heard a little thump.
It's ongoing.
You all right?
Yeah, I think it was far away. It always feels nearby, but it's always far away.
Maybe. Can't be too sure.
But you were talking about how bullet vests are a misnomer because mostly those things protect you from shrapnel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting
It'll
because
still block like a 9mm bullet. It could in some cases, like even from like a distance, or from if for some reason the bullet has lost energy,
right.
it could theoretically stop a round from like an assault rifle. But that's not really what it's for. Like most of those things that are ballistic protection, an assault rifle will just punch right through it, I think.
Right.
Somebody showed a demonstration once at like a training course where they had like a car door, a rock, bricks, and like a bulletproof vest or flak jacket or whatever, and like assault rifle rounds some of them do penetrate the vest, at least in that case. But it's to block a little of shrapnel, like slicing you open.
It's funny because YouTube recommended that video, and then I talked to the firefighters, and the firefighter asked about the double tap, said that, showed me a bunch of scars on his body and said, "Oh yeah, I was saved by the vest that I was wearing. You know, it blocked the shrapnel."
Yeah. So I
So
get black vest.
said he was
Best way
like
to.
lucky. And he also wear one of those helmets that you were made to wear when going to the church.
Me and Dylan have a very unique, gigantic Irish.
Sorry?
Me and Dylan have like big old Irish potato heads, so it's really hard to find like a helmet that fits.
You have really big heads?
Yeah, big Irish head.
Damn. I got a small head. Must be because I'm small brained. No, I got a
No.
Polish head. Polish Jewish head.
That's not what it is. It's just, but no, it just took forever to find it. I got delayed by like almost a week because of that.
Vladimir says, "That's so charming, Lucy. So you can team up and be targeted by drones, and while running to cover, you'll also meet Dylan."
It happens.
Irish head, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. As um, the firefighters have definitely confirmed that they've been double tapped before and
Sorry?
suffered from it from the double tap.
Wait, they were injured from a double tap?
Oh yeah. Some lost their colleagues. I even asked because there's I was wondering what their perspective was on that. I asked the firefighters how they feel about the fact that, you know, Kiev is a little bit further from the front lines. Do they feel that it's safer? Do they feel that it's not safer? What's their perspective? That their perspective is, you know?
What'd they say?
Oh, the firefighter said that recently he doesn't feel like it's safer, that the major bombings have been thrown at Kiev. At least for a firefighter, it doesn't feel safer.
Yeah, because for their work, they end up being targets themselves.
Yeah,
Because
because
of fear.
they like I probably don't feel like it's more like as dangerous as near a front line, right? Because there is not a
Because you're
huge
in the crowd, you know.
yeah.
Like you're.
Yeah, like it's kind of diluted, so to speak, right? The danger. But a firefighter will just go to the place that was hit, was targeted. So the danger will be like automatically very focused on those firefighters.
Yeah, that's very scary feeling. I have a couple incidents of like having filmed at recent airstrikes when I was in Syria, and you can always like in the background just hear me breathing like really heavily. It's like really interesting. I'm very nervous when I'm there.
Yeah.
You know they hit once, they're going to try and sometimes kill the rescuers. You know, it's typical. This was the Syrian regime doing it, but Russia's same deal.
Yeah, and some viewers are asking you if it's good to ask AI. I think, considering your experience with AI, I know your answer, but is it is AI good to ask journalist questions?
What is it? Is it good to use AI to come
To
up with
ask
questions
to
for
ask
journalists?
it journalist questions.
So my honest answer is twofold. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I've been surprised by how well some AI search engines have been able to explain complicated subjects and debunk conspiracy theories around them. Like, so I think there's some AI models that basically just summarize a bunch of different links, and that stuff sometimes works fine, but you can never just trust it as like a correct answer because it can get misled or it could use something that's not legitimate as a source. So sometimes it produces answers that are interesting, but I would say like look at every single source. I tend to divert against AI. I don't, and I also think that people are not being super honest about what it actually is because it really is sort of just a normal technology. It's just that it's an advancement of technology that we've had for a really long time, but that's being used with fewer guardrails and is being used to mimic things instead of necessarily to like solve problems. Maybe like its principal goal is to appear like us in some cases, and that isn't really a good way to make a tool functional, I think.
Yeah, it's also hallucinates a lot when you try to find
Yeah,
information.
it's bullshit because the fact is that there's a little arrogance there because part of the theory behind like whatever it is they call it AGI, I guess,
Mhm.
is that
is that we'll figure out like what consciousness is and how it works.
Oh,
and
no,
then
no.
yeah, and one day this thing will tell us all the answers. But it's like it's proven very useful for a lot of medical advances, and for studying space in some cases it's really useful because it can examine gigantic sets of data. So that's cool. But it's actually fascinating how little it's been able to accomplish in some angles. Like it's never going to explain like how DNA works for us. Like we still haven't figured that out. We still haven't figured out
I know there's
how
one
this
field that I actually dabble in, as you know.
Hmm?
Animation is one of the fields that
Yes.
AI just doesn't understand at all. Because
Right.
animation, like, do you know what the easiest way to spot AI animation is?
Tell me.
It's the motion itself. It will always be this very the same tempo, floaty animation, if that makes sense. The motion will
Unnaturally
be
fluid, kind of.
it will be floaty, and the rhythm will be the same. It will be unchanging. The timing and spacing will be but the same, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, because it's sort of producing like an extreme average.
Yeah,
Uh,
the AI does not, because AI doesn't understand anything, but AI cannot produce varied speed of animation because that requires intentionality, right? That requires, like, if you want a punch to be snappy, you decide kind of which frames go to which frame to speed to make a punch faster or slower. You have slow ins or ease ins and ease outs.
right. Somebody showed me ease recently. Is ease an AI function?
Yeah.
It's an AI tool.
What?
Ease.
Oh no, when I say ease in, it means that like it's an animation um it's an animation kind of phrase where it means that you make the motion a bit slower, right?
A little bit slower than the actual. Yep.
Yeah.
Than the pace of the scene, right?
Kind of means, how should I put it? It means that you have very quick motion, and then it's, for example, slows at the end, right? It creates this very fluid motion, and AI cannot do that for the life of it.
Interesting.
It's like when you have a hand that, especially in drawn animation, you have skip from one drawing to another, there's a very big gap between the movements, which there's a sharp sudden movement. But when you also add an ease in, it creates this fluid motion that's very fast as well. Does that make sense? I hope.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, because I was animating something the other night with a friend. I wasn't doing the animation. I was sitting with them while they did it. But they were showing me some of the tools that are in.
Yeah, so
I don't even know what the program was, but it was cool. It was really cool.
For AI animation, I'm not sure if AI will be able to do good animation anytime soon, because a lot of this is you decide the motions, pacing, and timing. There's a lot of intentionality to these things.
And also, I've noticed that like a lot of if you use too much AI in like producing a video game, people get really pissed, and it produces really bad products. I think.
Yeah.
Like there's some really crucial parts of like tech that see this stuff as totally poisonous.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people do use generative AI in games in a lot of cases, and it's controversial, but in terms of comparing it to like the way in which it's been adopted in other non-inherently tech areas, it's pretty surprising that like one of the big holdouts against AI is gaming.
Oh yeah.
Which I mean, they technically created AI.
Expedition 33 was lost one award because of they used AI for some concept art, I think.
There you go.
You know,
And it's I don't know. I haven't played it. It's on Games Pass, so I should play it. But what's it about?
You should play Expedition 33. It's a very good game.
What's it about?
It's about trying to save the world from a paintress that kills people every year.
From a what?
It's an RPG.
Okay.
What's that noise?
I'm trying to. I'm waiting for Knights of the Old Republic 2 to go on sale on Switch, and I'm gonna play it.
Hold on, what's that?
The old one. It's the first one.
Can you hear that?
There's another strike.
Can you hear that?
What?
Can you hear that?
Probably, yeah. I think so.
What is it?
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know.
Did you
Sounds
hear a
like
sound
a
on your
giant
end?
dryer.
Oh, drone maybe?
A drone's more like buzzing, no? Than a giant dryer.
I think so. I don't think I heard this well enough then. On your end, yeah?
Can you hear the noise? Try to kind of take the microphone closer to it, but it's just kind of like a, I don't know, strange.
Can't hear it.
But dude,
Does it-
tonight, all things considered, is pretty quiet. During
That's
the
good. It's been
big,
insane lately.
during the big attacks, there's been nights when there was every couple of minutes there was boom, 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 you know, explosions.
Yeah. I haven't been there for the worst ones, but I know the general idea.
I've managed to be here for some of the worst ones. I remember playing a video game on stream, and I suddenly, a Ukrainian viewer writes, "Hey, Lucy, there's gonna be a thunderstorm today in Kyiv, apparently." Like it was, meaning a huge bombing, and I was like, "Wait, there's thunderstorms every day." But
It's like the weather report.
well, there's
Our
also
friend-
been during that time actual storms, and when there was a
Our-
lightning, I would flinch more than when I hear a bomb.
My friend on this podcast I was working with, well, you know Nizar, right?
Nazar?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they-
ambassador for Czech Ukraine.
They have he what was it we were saying 2 seconds ago?
Thunder is scary.
Oh yeah. He says he starts the podcast with it's sunny with a chance of cruise missiles.
We did a podcast with Nazar.
Yeah. But we haven't released it yet.
Wait, when did you do a podcast? What was it about?
It's about weird weapons.
Weird
Like
weapons.
weaponry. Yeah. It's called Dark Weapons.
When did you record it?
Well, we recorded part of it in 2022, part of it in 2023. But he's a perfectionist, which got to be very annoying. So when I come back this year, I'm just going to make him sit down and record it. And however good or bad it is, we'll
you should just do the podcast live.
do it live. I don't know.
Yeah, just do it live. Do the podcast about weird weapons live. That's the best way.
Have I shown you any of the clips? We do sort of animation for it.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Who
Yeah,
animated it? Did Nazar animate it?
It's collage images with some motion. This is a better way to put it. It's not like true animation. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool.
Okay. Is it as cool as my animations?
No. No. Definitely a different skill level.
Yeah.
Or a different skill set maybe, because he's not really an animator. He just does like 3D models and stuff.
Vladimir says that AI gave us such masterpieces like Chad versus the gay Nazis, if you've heard of it.
You got to give credit where credit's due. Also, what else is the ballerina cappuccino thing?
Listen, I am for the man-made classics such as Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
Oh yes. I don't know. Wasn't it Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
But there was also Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, actually. There was,
okay.
Yeah.
There's some movie called Poltergeist where Jesus comes back to like kill everybody.
Also, there's a classic movie called A Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah. I saw like 2 minutes of that, and it was too violent for me to watch.
I remember the headline from the newspaper in the movie. The headline
What
said, Hobo stops begging and starts demanding.
Funny. I like that a lot.
Yeah, good movies. Lucy liked the touch of a man. I mean, I cannot confirm or deny it.
Can't confirm or deny what?
That I like the touch of a man. Because this is a family-friendly show, so I cannot deny or,
Got to be under bombardment. You got to be family friendly,
Yeah.
and politically correct.
That's right.
The two things you have to focus on right now.
Yeah, it's like the Stan Bush song. You've got the touch.
I don't know if I know it.
You don't know? You've never seen the famous animated movie, The Transformers, the movie from 1986?
No. I mean, I guess you grew up in Poland, so it's different. But I really didn't get like American pop culture when I was like under 10 years old, I think. So pretty much anything 80s. You did? It's weird. And my family didn't really. I guess we had a TV, but like we didn't use it or whatever. But I didn't get a lot of pop culture. So it's like
You never watched
I kind of grew up in the 70s.
You
Even though I
never
grew
watched
up
the
in the
Transformers?
90s. I've never seen an episode of the Transformers.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of episodes of the Transformers as a kid, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I loved Ninja Turtles. My brother was into Ninja Turtles. Yeah,
So
I
it
think
did
they're
get
great.
some pop culture.
I did, but that's later. That's like 90s.
All right.
I think, right? Yeah.
I'm surprised
It
you
is.
haven't seen the Transformers G1, especially the movie. Do you know who
No, I haven't seen it.
starred as the big antagonist of the Transformers the movie? Now that's a historical figure for you.
No, tell me.
Orson Welles.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
Yeah, he voiced the main antagonist of the movie. The famous
Was it?
Citizen Kane director.
What's the other? Oh, he did this weird like Christian apocalyptic movie too that he was the narrator for. It was the late great Planet Earth. It was sort of like the synthesis for a lot of right wing Christian stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he believed in it. He did it for a paycheck.
Oh, the best things that he did were those outtakes from wine commercials.
Oh, I love that stuff. I love it. That's great.
He was like, oh,
Yeah.
a grand wine. He just didn't.
I don't drink very much. Like I can barely handle a drink.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes. I admire the energy of alcoholics. Like I don't know, I couldn't do it. Like you could put me down. It would be like being hit by like a blow dart for me to have like too many drinks in me.
Eastern Europeans are just super drunk.
I drank with some of my Ukrainian and Polish friends in Carpathia.
Yeah.
Like way up in the mountains. And you know when you take the shot of vodka and then you have a pickle.
Yeah.
Like the gigantic sour pickles, and the pickle has like a lot of liquid in it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to help you with the hangover or whatever, right? And it's
water,
good. It's delicious. It's delicious. I love the good Ukrainian or Polish vodka, and sour pickles is excellent, right? But it's like I'm a gringo. I'm not from there.
Damn.
So it's like people. There is a difference in what you can handle. So so long story short, the guys, the Ukrainian and Polish guys were drunk and had eaten some pickles, but like I had tried to keep up, and I was on the floor. First, I made them listen to my podcast, which was funny, and then after a couple more drinks, I was on the floor screaming, "Help! Help!"
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Like, I was aware that it was funny, but it was still like I really was yelling for help. Like,
damn.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not
alcohol poisoning.
No, but just I just can't handle my drink.
I'm a real lightweight as well. I'm a fake Pole.
Yeah.
I used to joke that I get drunk at the sniff of a drink.
Yeah, I will say Poland is a very fun country to have a nice beer in. Great. The food, the setting. It's a perfect place to go have a beer and get Chinese food.
Chinese food? I hope you're not talking about the pseudo-Vietnamese food.
I did enjoy the pseudo-Vietnamese food, I have to say.
You enjoyed the pseudo-Vietnamese food?
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
God. Thank God now you can get real Vietnamese food. Actually, my best friend owns a restaurant, a Vietnamese one.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when
but there's some of the branding on some of those places is pretty racist.
Where?
I've seen some of the takeout, places that have like a caricature of like an Asian person as the logo of the takeout place.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Whoa!" But then I noticed that it's owned by people that are Vietnamese. So I was like,
because it's like we have to pander
they made
to the
logo.
locals.
Yeah.
I'm not racist.
So
I'm not racist. I have Vietnamese friends, so I cannot be racist, right?
No, I genuinely do despise racism. I just think that it's one of those things that is so stupid that it has to be funny on some level. Yeah. It's just too like you can't be that.
I almost moved permanently to Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. I don't want to live under their system. Yeah.
Because I got a lot of I guess you call it chosen family. A lot of chosen family in Vietnam.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Because my best friends are Vietnamese, and they kind of said that I'm part of their family.
Oh, nice. Okay, well then, by all means, you should go.
Yeah,
my only experience.
Like I've known them for more than 20 years.
Definitely visit.
Yeah.
My
But in primary school.
my only experience that I could say would give me any insight into what Vietnam is like is that I did an exchange program in Thailand, and the climate's like similar.
Yeah.
And
It's always
for
warm.
me, it's too much. The humidity is too much. Like, it's beautiful. People are so lovely. It's cool.
The
But like,
humidity, you feel it. You feel it in the air. It's a very
not for
specific
me.
feeling.
It's a very specific thing. Like, for me, the
But I love the
desert.
street food.
Yeah, wonderful food. Yeah, the desert, winter. I haven't done the full Ukrainian winter. I haven't done that yet. So that
I've
was
been
when we.
in the winter in Ukraine. I
What's
considered
that like?
staying for Christmas, but my family was angry at me.
So you had to go home for Christmas.
A Jewish family that does Christmas, because in Poland nobody cares.
It is what it is. In America, it's almost like a tradition for Jewish families in America to get Chinese food. You know, yeah. So it's like my family, my immediate family is not Jewish, but broader is. So it's like,
But yes, if
a
you
Christmas with Chinese food.
go through
Chinese
Poland,
food,
right? When you go to Ukraine, I
Yes,
assume you're
yes.
gonna go through Poland. Yeah, then maybe I can take you to the restaurant.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my friend's restaurant.
in Warsaw. Warsaw is fucking nice. I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, I like the thing I like about Poland is it doesn't seem like you're being ripped off every 2 seconds. Like, being in most of Europe, it feels like you're just being like ripped off like every second of every day. Like, just if you go to a store, you have to pay for parking. Like, if you want to open a falafel stand, you have to pay like a huge amount to get licenses and stuff. But in Poland, it doesn't feel like that. I'm not like a capitalist, but like it seemed a little bit.
There's a lot of nonsensical paperwork to do anything. I used to work for a company to build bus and tram stations, right?
Okay.
And to build a single tram station, like, the shelter thing, you need as many permits as you need to build a skyscraper.
Interesting.
So,
But is that like a specific type of thing? But I don't know. I mean, I could be interpreting it completely wrong, but it just seemed like the amount that people work is more fair to how they're able to live in Poland than a lot of places that I've seen. Like, most of the people that I meet that are like taxi drivers or do a job like that seem to like have a home and do okay and live. But I'm basing it on a really, really
I
thin
usually use
evidence.
like the Ubers where you have foreigners as the drivers.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
because here you're fucked. Like, there's just like the environment for people's personal.
I've actually had very interesting cab drives inside Ukraine, because always I end up learning the whole life story of my driver.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's like one of them asked, "Wait, you're asking me so many questions. Are you a journalist?" The driver was a field cook for the military. He told me about his experience. Well, first he told me about his experience with Euromaidan, how his wife was pregnant and he went into labor during Euromaidan on the day where the sniper thing was happening. So he didn't get hit by the snipers because he went to the hospital with his wife, but his friends got hit by the snipers.
That sucks.
And after that, he went to Poland and he drove his cab in Poland. And after that, he went to Ukraine and he was a line cook in Ukraine, and he told me about his experiences in the military as a line cook.
Interesting. What was that? Anything stand out?
Yes, that his mom had cancer, and his shitty commander didn't want to let him spend a few days with his mom to take care of her during her cancer. And also the commander would steal fuel from their electricity generator and go on joyrides to nearby villages.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and the unit had to spend their own money to buy fuel to have it for the generator.
Fucked. Yeah, there still is quite a bit of corruption, isn't there?
Yeah, so they hated their commander. He said that if it wasn't for how bad he was treated in his unit, he probably would have still been in the military.
I see.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's hard with like those hierarchies there too, because it's like you have so much power if you're a military commander.
Yeah.
But
those are the because when people discuss these things, especially commentaries from the West that have never been to Ukraine or talked about Ukraine. They talk
Mhm.
about problems that are not real and overblown, but they do not talk
Mhm.
about the actual problems that are worth discussing and do exist.
Right. Like the real corruption that's happening.
Yeah, like the real scandals. And then also people say that nothing's being done about it, but I mean, something is clearly being done about it because those things are being kind of exposed and prosecuted. And if nothing was being done about it, then Zelensky would not have tried to shut down those two, So something clearly is done about it if Zelensky tried to defang the two orgs, that the chief orgs anti-corruption, right? I actually attended the protests when that happened
Oh yeah. How was that?
in Kiev. It was very loud.
It's very interesting that would happen.
Oh yeah,
It's so interesting that there's like protests at wartime is like nuts.
They ignored the curfew as well. So they were like, even if we get
But it
bombed,
worked, right? It worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Zelensky had to walk back his whole crap. So that
That's
worked.
good.
Like a lot of people chanted stuff like hańba, which is the same word in Polish.
What's that mean?
It means disgrace, basically. They chanted stuff like Ukraine is not Russia,
I like it.
Yeah. They just didn't, they wouldn't take any nonsense. And a lot of people took their dogs for the protest.
That's adorable. I love it. That's why I would probably live full time in Ukraine if I didn't have my little doggy. But she would not like the like look at her peacefully sleeping. Hang on one second. She's guarding my Nintendo Switch.
Damn.
Yeah.
Have you played?
She would not like the air raid sirens.
Have you played the Three Kingdoms Fire Emblem game?
No, that's not really my kind of game.
Damn. I cannot believe you. That's racist.
No, how dare you?
Yeah, it's racist not to play Fire Emblem.
Why? What country is it from?
Japan, of course.
Oh, I see.
It's a Nintendo game.
Oh, yeah, but they're not all from there. A lot of them are from Poland, actually.
Oh, that's racist against the Polish race.
Okay, well, I guess I'm damned either way.
Yeah, it's all good.
What was I gonna say? So, did you want to talk about some of the history stuff?
Yeah. So, can you open us up with because there's I don't know. I'm always baffled by the Western socialists, I guess, who are very pro-Soviet Union. That always just catches me by surprise very negatively. And I thought maybe we could talk about some opposition to, for example, in Poland, you had socialists and you had communists, and the communist group would align with the Soviet Union. That was after World War One, and the socialists would be adamantly anti-Soviet Union. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't a lot of the principal opposition to the Soviet Union from people that were like socialist labor organizers?
Yeah. I mean, the Polish socialists just saw the Soviet Union as a rebrand of Russia, the empire.
Right. That makes sense. Hang on one second.
Yawned.
Hey, sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back. So maybe you could tell me about that topic.
Right.
The socialists that were anti.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on that, but I just throughout the Cold War, it's like a lot of the governments that were actually in opposition to the Soviet Union like had socialist leaders. Like, I'm not like a huge fan of François Mitterrand. I think he had a lot of problems. Like that. There's his role during World War II during like the Vichy government is his story about being a like part of the resistance secretly is probably true and it holds water, but it's still like sketchy that he was a member of the Vichy government.
Oh.
Yeah. It's his so it's I'm not like vouching for the guy specifically, but he was like his election was a big deal for socialists in Europe, and he was like super anti-Soviet, and he was a big part of some of the major like espionage that took place against the Soviet Union. A lot of the information about Soviet military technology that came to the West came through the French intelligence services. Oh. And it was at a time when there were actually communists in the French government.
Right.
But they weren't spies. They were just patriotic French people that were members of the government. The president was socialist, but some certain members of his cabinet were actually like card-carrying communists, and they were vehemently anti-Soviet.
Right. Yeah. Can
You
you
know,
tell
and
us?
not to the point of being crazy. Not like they weren't trying to nuke anybody, but just they weren't buying the bullshit. Is the point.
Right.
And
So
I think Americans usually, because it's like I'm French American, so when Americans hear socialism, a lot of the times they associate it only with the more like extreme regimes that have
Yeah.
considered themselves socialists. Because for Europeans, like for us, having socialists that are opposed to communists is something that's normal. Like it's you can't really talk about the history of authoritarian communism without talking about the fact that like a lot of social democrats and socialists were the democratic alternative to that.
yeah.
It's just reality. And in America, I don't think that we've labeled a lot of the things that have been sort of socialist inspired as socialist. Like a lot of our labor movements didn't necessarily call themselves socialist. FDR had a lot of socialist policies,
Right.
but he never would have called himself a socialist. So we've put like this negative association onto it that isn't really historically accurate.
Yeah. Also, can you speak French?
Bien sûr.
Because I have a few French viewers in the audience.
On y va. Si tu veux demander une question en français, je suis pas parfait, mais je peux faire.
Nice. Nice.
Je peux répondre.
Perfect. Malaki will be very happy, the viewer. Malaki has been spreading the French language in the chat.
Nice.
Oh, and
Non, mais
Malaki
déjà,
loves
j'ai un
your
accent, c'est pas parfait.
Malaki loves.
It's fun to have an accent in something, you know? Because like in English, I have no accent. But in French, I have an accent.
Yeah, but the French viewers love it.
Thank you, merci.
Apparently, the Socialist Party in France is somewhat of a joke.
Currently, very much so, yeah. But it's, you know, I think people will move we'll move past some of the orthodoxies of the past, and I do think that anti-authoritarian socialism is just getting started.
Yeah, it's awesome. Also, have you visited Montreal?
No, I've never been anywhere in North America that's not the United States. It's embarrassing. In any of the Americas, actually. I've never been to Canada, never been to Mexico. I really want to go to Mexico.
Yeah. You
It
wanna
looks super
report in
cool.
Mexico?
I don't know about reporting. I feel like there's people that know it better that would be able to do it. But I know just to visit, you know.
I thought you were a workaholic like all of us here.
Depends what you
Never
define
ends.
as like work. Like I'm a journalismaholic, but not all of it's paid. So it depends how you look at it.
I mean,
You know.
not everything is like money is not everything.
No, it's barely anything.
Yeah.
If you can survive. I mean, we've made things in such a way that money is a lot, but let's say status is not worth anything.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You should come to Montreal. Says Malaki. The side chat.
Oh, Québécois. Oh, très bien.
Yeah.
Québécois is an interesting accent. There's I would argue that there is no accent in all of the English-speaking world that sounds as different from like British English than Québécois sounds from like France French. It's very different. It sounds like you're listening to like a time machine of like ancient French.
Yeah. It's kind of true for English, isn't it? Isn't American English closer to Middle English than like Shakespearean?
Closer to the old one, right?
Yeah.
The American is closer to the older, right?
Yeah, to Shakespearean English than British.
I think that's what's true. They did something where they like analyzed stuff that rhymes, right? Like Rome rhymed with room.
Yeah.
In their
the R's, I think during Shakespearean times, the R's were pronounced at the end of words, like car, not call. You know.
Explain.
Like in U.S. English, you pronounce the R's at the end of words, and in British English, you don't.
Oh, let me get in the car.
Yeah, there's the car, the bar.
Car.
There's a bar
instead
of the bar.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That's right.
More. Give me more. You know.
They don't say R's. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that is true.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I really like language. I think it's cool. I'm not super good at it, but I try to amateurishly increase my number of languages. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's also interesting how it's interesting how it's like all languages are pretty complex.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as like a language that's simple. You know?
No. There's
Yeah.
no such thing. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. There are some that are kind of simpler, like Esperanto. I think that was kind of like
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's like
Yeah.
a purpose-built
Yeah.
language. You know, it's like there's a there's an. Do you know who Dan Aykroyd is?
Who?
Dan Aykroyd from Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a great bit he did when he was on the American skit show Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
He did a bit where he had the metric alphabet.
Yeah.
Right. The idea was to have only 10 letters. And so he just combined all the like crappy letters into one letter. So it's like X, J, Q, whatever. It's very funny.
Damn.
My
Actually,
pets are funny. Ingrid. My pets are like being rambunctious. Continue, sorry.
actually learned quite a few alphabets. I've
Which ones
learned
do you have?
the Ukrainian one in 2 days. Can you read Ukrainian?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know what it means, but
You don't speak Ukrainian?
I can ask for a lot of things in Ukrainian, but I can't really
ask
speak it.
for something.
What should I ask for?
Try to buy a bottle of Coke from me.
Я хочу купили, or how do you say bought? Купате Coca?
Coke? You want Coke?
Coca-Cola, whatever.
Okay.
However the fuck you call it. I don't know what it is in Ukrainian, right? But я хочу купате, is that how you say I want to buy?
Yes, it sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay.
Vladimir said there's also stuff like excuses English to those who don't know. He still speaks French, but with an English accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess with Ukrainian, I get it a bit easier because the words sound so similar.
Polish.
Yeah. Dobry dzień, dzień dobry, you know?
Is it's almost the same.
Yeah. Ukrainian.
Polish is really though. But if I hear people speaking in Russian or Ukrainian, sometimes, again, I'm not claiming to speak, but sometimes I can hear like things that kind of make sense to me a little bit. Like I hear little recognitions of words that I'm learning. Yeah. But in Polish, it's like it's crazy language. Like for people that don't know Polish, I think probably one of the harder ones to.
I mean, it depends
to figure out.
Identical with Ukrainian in Polish.
But the spellings, man, like it's crazy for us because we have the same alphabet, but it's like it doesn't like it's like a P Z W, like it's just it's very different. It's very confusing.
Tak. Yeah, but there are those like on or it sounds like in Polish that are not in Ukrainian.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't know about.
Yeah,
because I don't know it. Polish is like confusing.
But it's like Ukrainian dziękuję and Polish has dziękuję.
I love that.
Yeah.
My friends, my Polish colleagues that I work with used to joke that the Lviv dialect is just Polish.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Damn. I've been to Lviv once.
Nice.
Yeah. I slept. I was very poor. I barely had any money, and I managed to find a very cheap hostel in Lviv.
Oh, nice.
I think it was like 300 hryvnia per night.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is very cheap. Yeah. I can't wait to go back. Not specifically to Lviv, but to Ukraine.
Yeah.
I miss it. Yeah, I miss good food. Like, it's really awesome there.
Is Ukraine good for vegans?
Yes.
It is?
Very good. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's just like naturally vegan. Like, half the Varaniki is like vegan already.
Right.
A lot of Georgian food that's everywhere is already vegan.
Wait, hold on. A lot of it is not vegan though. Like hachapuri is not.
A lot of it, I don't know what that is. But a lot of it is vegan.
You don't know hachapuri?
But I'm not sure what it is.
The kind of the bread like with cheese and egg.
That looks so good. I wish I could eat it, but yeah, that looks definitely not vegan.
Yeah, because it has egg.
Oh, also like in Ukraine, sunflower oil is like how they fry everything.
One second, like someone asked me in the Twitch chat, Jonas, what are we doing? We're doing a special talk / interview / history talk with our special journalist guest.
But we're also talking about sunflower oil.
Yeah, and vegan food.
If people want to ask questions about Syria stuff too, I can answer that.
Yeah. Hello, hello. For the first time in a long while, I've managed to see a Twitch chatter when they are actually chatting. I rarely
Interesting.
have Twitch chatters. It's a blessing to have one, you know?
Nice. What are they saying?
They say it howdy.
Howdy.
Yes. Does anybody have any questions for the journalist guest that Norway #1? Oh, nice. Does anybody have like questions for my journalist guest? Oh, I have a question for you. Who
Go
will
for it.
defend Dylan Burns' honor?
What?
Yeah. What's your follow-up, Rusty Weil? Wait, what's your follow-up?
Follow-up.
Yeah, ask my follow-up, but I don't know what the follow-up is. Oh, I think it's okay. I can ask, I guess. Can you give a critique for AI saying that only 1% of Ukrainians support Palestine?
I mean, I don't believe that, honestly. And it depends how you ask the question.
All right.
I think that the stats that I've seen were somewhere in the 60s for polls
Oh.
in terms of that 67% or something, 60% of Ukrainians supported Israel. But this is like pre-war stuff. Like I think the data is shifted around, and I also think I think that people are pretty hostile to a lot of the deals that Israel's done with Russia.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I can't speak. I haven't been to Ukraine in over 2 years.
That's
I hopefully
so
will be
long.
there very soon. It's so long. Yeah. I was in Syria last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've
But
been there for
historical
the fall of Assad.
right after. I was there before though. I was there before the fall of Assad a lot. But then I came right after too. I have some fun
Okay.
photos inside
You
some
know
of
the word honor?
No, what's the word?
Honor. Honor is honor.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yes, I will ask you a question so that you can defend
Mm.
Dylan Burns' honor. How does that sound?
Okay. Sounds
So,
great.
there's been accusations levied at him that the thing that he is doing, the Trek Ukraine thing, that it tries to pressure progressive candidates and politicians out of politics to bully them under the guise of Ukraine. What is your response to that?
But bully them, what do you mean?
To attack them on, for example, they are pro-Palestine, but they're not adequate on Ukraine, so they're being attacked on that in order to squeeze them out.
I mean, it just grades people based on how their voting record is on Ukraine. It's like those of us that volunteer with them have our own beliefs. For me, I would never vote for a candidate that was going to send money to Israel for weapons.
Right.
Regardless of what their position was. But I would still grade the candidate based on what their position is on Ukraine.
Right.
It's a guide for people that are single issue voters on Ukraine. And generally speaking, in the United States, pro-Ukraine is pro-Palestine in politics. It's not 100%, but the people that are in government that support Ukraine tend to be the ones that are opposed to sending weapons to Israel.
Well, I guess it also depends on whether or not they're
It depends.
Democrat or Republican.
Well, actually, let me phrase it the way: the people that oppose sending weapons to Israel almost universally support Ukraine. That's the more accurate description.
Because like with politicians, with Republicans, it gets a little bit more complicated. Because a lot of them even have a pretty good voting record on aid when it comes to 2022, 2023, 2024. Yes. And then when Trump comes into the picture, they kind of chameleon style switch their stance to either being silent or to, oh yeah, I used to vote for aid, but now I'm for the negotiation that this guy's doing.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's been, I'm disappointed in the fact that Ilhan Omar voted against the Support Ukraine Act, but
Ukraine
but she does
Ukraine Support Act.
Ukraine Support Act, but she does, she does support weapons for Ukraine, and her, I don't think her reason is good for having opposed that vote because she says she's against sanctions. But again, I don't think, even though I think she made the wrong move, I still respect her, and I don't think that she's like a fucking weasel, like the way that some of these Republicans are. That's my take on it.
Maybe I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding as to the
Mm.
nature of the sanctions to begin with.
Yeah, because it's a superpower. It's like, it's like we're gonna take a bully's skateboard away because he's going around beating people up. Like, okay, like I don't like taking someone's skateboard, but depends on
Oh,
the.
you got another serious questions from the audience.
Okay.
Is it fair to declare that the US is also committing genocide in Palestine?
I would say so. Yeah, 100%. Israel is.
So US by enabling Israel is also doing that?
Yeah, I would argue, yeah, absolutely, because they
Alright.
continue to send weapons. You could say at the start, you could argue maybe not because there was a different policy when some of those weapons deals went through. But it's been 3 years of nonstop displacement and killing of probably over 100,000 people. I would say, based on their background. So yeah, I don't think Hamas is good. I don't think what they did is good, but I think that it's a genocide, and it's been 3 years of the United States continuing to send weapons and continuing to block any kind of UN resolution that would fix this. So yeah, I do think the US is definitely contributing to a genocide in Palestine.
All right, we got our answer. I guess. Oh, what is your favorite historical period while we're talking history?
Wow, that is a great question. Honestly, I'm going to give an asshole answer, but
Yeah.
now, yeah,
Now.
because we're able to, we don't have to be like cold warriors anymore. Like, we're able to say this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Like, we don't have to pick sides the way that we used to.
Yeah.
You still got to pick sides against evil. You still got to stand up for like Ukraine and shit. But like, I don't have to join a team to do that. Like, you're now in a position where we have the internet. People are in communication across the world. There's new kinds of activism and solidarity. There's new kinds of nonviolent solidarity. There's new ways to take down empires. So I think that now is the best time to be a free person that wants to fight for freedom.
Interesting. There are people that still choose to join teams, and that's why they end up being like, oh, I'm team anti-America, and therefore I am against aiding Ukraine because
Right.
Russia's against America, and I'm anti-America, and America's bad, and
Right, and it's like that's a child's interpretation of the world.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep having to move around.
Yeah.
I keep having to move around because my phone charges from the same port that my headphones come from.
Oh, we got a lot of questions from a viewer. Is it fair to say that the US was founded on genocide?
I mean, they did a genocide. Was it founded on it? I don't know. Like, because you could argue like the English genocide. Sorry,
you're being censored by Matt Walsh.
They can't hear.
Now we can hear you. But you were being censored by Matt Walsh for a second there. If you know who that is.
I do know who that is. Yeah, yeah. He does like stuff that's against Native Americans, right?
He did a series of documentaries about real history, quote unquote. Oh gosh. I want to do a takedown. I've been sent by our joint acquaintance a video a takedown of Matt Walsh. I have to watch it for Native Americans.
It's just silly. Like, there's these people that have this colonial mindset that they think that if they can find anything fucked up that the people that they eradicated did, that it justifies it. And but it's
the most ridiculous thing from Matt Walsh was, Rosa Parks, right? The bus thing, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Walsh was like, yeah, you're gonna learn the real history about this whole thing. It's gonna shake your beliefs. And then he proceeds to say, did you know she was actually not just spontaneously stopped on the bus, and she wasn't just spontaneously told to leave the seat. She was an activist beforehand, and she orchestrated the whole thing, and she had a post photo, and it was just a whole ploy to get this whole thing going. I'm like, hold on, but that just makes her sound more badass.
Yeah, so someone's got to do it.
That just makes her sound so much better that she didn't just randomly stumble upon it and was like, oh, I'm hurting from this thing. I have to do something about it now, rather than that she was interested in doing something about it before,
You have to I don't buy the you have to make an omelet, you have to break eggs thing. Like, you don't have to do violence to cause change, but you do have to cause problems to do change. Like, you can't just stumble into it. It's an interesting gotcha that some of these people will just step in and say, "Oh, did you know that Martin Luther King had an agenda?" Like, okay, like what the fuck are we even talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really strange. Like, and I think these people, especially with like the Confederate shit, like on my American side, a lot of my ancestors are from the South. They fought for the Confederacy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but it's like I don't think their graves should be bulldozed. Like, leave the graves alone. But it's like don't build a fucking monument to the Confederacy, you idiots. Like, they lost. They were wrong. Get over it. Like, get over it. You were wrong, and you lost. Like, and I'm saying that as somebody whose American heritage is completely 100% from the South. Like, it's just it's stupid. It's beneath people to fixate on that kind of thing and like call it heritage. Just leave the graves of the dead Confederate soldiers alone and get rid of the fucking monuments. That's my view.
Yeah. It's crazy, the Matt Walsh documentaries. It's something to.
So, is he gay? Is Matt Walsh gay?
Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Who's the one that's gay that like just like promotes people that are completely homophobic?
Oh, gosh.
Benny Johnson? Is Benny Johnson gay?
The only famous gay conservatives is Milo Yiannopoulos that I know.
I don't even think he's really. I think he's just a walking personality disorder. I don't even think he's really a conservative.
Yeah.
But like
David Rubin.
David Rubin. There you go. Yeah.
There's a gay lord.
It's like what are you? And then there's the trans woman that's a transphobe.
Blair White.
Blair White. Is that it?
Blair White. Yeah, I've covered her. Blair White.
Entertaining. Fuck. Very entertaining, I will say.
But very stupid. I don't mean to be mean, but she's also very stupid.
Well, yeah, but she's like a living comedy sketch,
Because she's like I cannot. Usually when I react to Blair White, there's a lot of comments of people being like, "You're wrong, you're stupid, and you're ugly." And then I did a little cold intro of her saying something so stupid. Usually people just watch the very beginning of my react. And she said something so stupid that nobody jumped to her defense when she said, "Yeah, did you notice how all of these people attack Jesus, but they will not attack Buddha or Muhammad or whatever the Jewish God is?"
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
It's a funny one. No understanding of like culture or anything really. Like, yeah.
Or when he went, like, when Destiny went on that show with Blair White, and she was like, "So, you think that it's all about big politics, but actually, you don't understand how the leftist TikTokers take over the culture and actually run things." I'm like, what?
I mean, there is like I think people do have like a follow the leader mentality when it comes to everything, like left or right. So anybody can look at like the ideology that they don't like and say that it's just because people are trying to be trendy, because that's what it is. It's people follow internet trends now a lot. But it's like, I think that trick, I think a lot of conservatives have this like trick that they want to prove that if there's anything that's like imperfect with your side, that you're like wrong about everything,
Yeah.
I think after like Trump being reelected, people are kind of like, yeah, maybe we're not so fucking bad. Like maybe the people that are against him aren't so fucking bad. Like there's a little bit.
Oh, speaking of which,
there was a little bit of analyzing their criticisms of us, which I thought was kind of pathetic. And people are doing that left. I'm happy.
I need to send you a thing. I just remembered that I have to send you a thing.
What thing?
It's an article.
Oh, cool.
Because I finished. Finally.
Oh, it's something for me to edit.
Yeah.
Cool. Send it.
Well, I think you already have the link, but I'll resend the link.
Please.
Because I've added the thing from Boy. Boom.
Most recent interview. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to dinner soon, but we should cover. Do you want to talk about the Prague Spring?
Yeah.
Yeah. I figure if we're going to cover one like anti-Soviet leftist movement. That's the best one.
Yeah. But wasn't it crushed?
Completely, yeah.
1968.
But that really, and then there was also Hungary in 1956 too. Was the other one.
Yeah, but Poland had a thing that happened in the same year.
Oh, I see.
Did you
What
hear
was?
about it?
I might not be aware. What was in
There was
Poland?
a student protest that was crushed, and then there was a huge deportation of Jewish people from Poland.
Really?
Yeah,
By the
by the Polish communist government, and it was kind of a nail in the coffin to the Jewish community in Poland.
I didn't know. I mean, I obviously knew that all Soviet satellite states treated Jews with like a lot of paranoia and oppression,
Yeah,
but I didn't know.
they were like people were thrown out to Israel, which is very interesting because a lot of people were like, especially from the older generation, they were like, yeah, but I'm Polish. I have no ties to
Yeah,
Israel. I have no like I don't like I and they never really managed to adapt or to integrate to Israel.
Mm.
They just were always like foreigners.
when I come to Ukraine, I'll bring a copy of that book that my friend wrote about the labor Bund.
Yeah, you should cover it in
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that
read a very interesting book about the Prague Spring. It's to the I think the title is something along the lines of "To the Czechs, I'm really sorry." It's
Mhm.
from the perspective of a Polish soldier that took part in the invasion to Czechoslovakia,
so they
1968.
Polish.
Polish soldier. And he said that he was really buying into the whole propaganda, that he was a true believer that like West Germany was about to invade. That was one of the narratives. NATO expansion. A lot of the it's very interesting because a lot of the narratives, a lot of the explanation as to why Ukraine was invaded was used for the invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968.
I'm quite interested in how the Soviet satellite states in particular handled propaganda, because it was like they weren't completely like, I guess they were technically unoccupied nations, but it's like effectively occupied.
Yeah, they
So
were
I'm
effectively occupied. Yeah, I
so
mean
I'm
the evidence that they were occupied is in the invasion of Czechoslovakia itself, right? The Warsaw Pact acted as this enforcer of the Soviet will, so to speak.
so they just seized it in deed as well as just in politics.
Yeah,
But
because if you stepped out of line, if you like the sin that the Czechoslovakia committed was just reforming, and the Soviet Union did not like that, so they invaded.
wasn't there? I'm so interested in how like the propaganda worked inside the Soviet satellite states, because wasn't there like this Polish James Bond that was like a communist James Bond comic
there
book
was
character? Do you know what I'm talking about?
World War II guy, yeah, Hans Kloss.
Maybe it was they were they were comics about a guy. He would wear like a suit. He was kind of like James Bond, but he was a Polish spy.
I did
Do you know
the most famous Polish spy is like Hans Kloss. He was like pretending to be a German officer.
No, I'm talking about a comic book character.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kapitan
No,
Zbik? I don't know.
tell me about this guy though. That's very interesting.
Oh, Hans Kloss? Yeah, there's like there was this TV series called Stakes Higher Than Life about a Polish soldier being a spy in the Nazi army. Yeah, being a officer in the German army.
Speaking of which, the way that the Soviets, speaking of like anti-Soviet socialists, and like the way that the Soviet Union fucked the like home army guys that were leftist, and like the fucked over the Warsaw rebels. A lot of them were like socialists, and like they were just completely sold out by the Soviets and like
Yeah,
targeted.
they didn't care about stuff like that.
Who's the guy that made the movie Kanal?
Kanał?
Mhm.
I have to check. Kanał. It's about the film Kanał. Reżyser. Andrzej Wajda. Yeah, Andrzej Wajda.
Oh, so this is an old show. Stakes Higher Than Life.
Oh. Oh, the stakes higher. Oh, because I thought you asked about the movie Kanał.
Kanal 2. I was also asking about that. Sorry, I was
Oh.
having to.
Kiedy stawka większa niż życie była nagrana? Was during communist times? So the stakes higher than life is 1967, 1968.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, there was also a second famous, Nazar knows the other famous Polish TV series. It's called The Four Tankmen and a Dog.
The what?
The Four Tankmen and a Dog. It's about a tank crew that also had a German Shepherd.
Oh wow, Polish.
Yeah, formed by the Soviets, the Polish unit to
That's
fight
so interesting.
against the Nazis. Yeah. They had a
Oh,
German
that's-
Shepherd.
I've always thought that like action movie recreations of like historical events don't necessarily do a good service to history, you know? Like after like the Assad regime fell, I went back and like played some of the video games that were like Call of Duty 2019 and like
Yeah.
Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 that were like sort of like based on it. And it's interesting how it's interesting how American media lens has like translated recent history.
I mean, I don't think you should ever go to Call of Duty for historical accuracy.
No, that's not. I'm not going. I mean, I'm in there for historical accuracy. It's interesting to see how the American video game like interpreted current events.
That is interesting. Someone asked, what should be done if the GOP rigs the 2026 election? There is a legal rig now, but also illegal rig in the works.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't really know. I just think that I think it's so obvious which way the tide is turning that I think that anybody that did that would be exposed. Like, I think it's actually harder to do than people are claiming. I don't think they'd get away with it. Let me put it that way.
Interesting.
And they're crazy and stupid, the Trump people right now.
That's
He
true.
had some in him that were less crazy back in the day, but now they're nuts.
That's true. Apparently, I mean, the first Call of Duty games were not that bad though.
No, it's just
The World
historical
War
stuff.
II one.
But it's become very much like a propaganda. Like it's become like a really shameless propaganda tool, and it's very interesting to see like how it's developed from this sort of like historical accuracy model to like this really weird like holistic American like pro-America product.
Very strange. Apparently, there was actually used as material in the enlistment. Yeah.
Definitely. I
And
wonder
yeah.
what the version of that is.
Hmm.
I think it'd be probably a pretty hard sell.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Lucy, I'm probably going to have to get going pretty soon.
All right.
Because of the story.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, no, but let's talk about one more thing before I go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, what's another good example that you wanted to mention? A good example I have of interesting twist on communist history.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever heard of what side was China on during the Afghanistan war in the 1980s?
It was on the side of the Soviet Union.
No.
Wait, hold on, because they hated each other.
Yeah. So there's this interesting phenomenon that happened that during the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, there was a Maoist insurgent group that was allied with the Mujahideen. Did the Polish ministers now go fight with the Mujahideen in the 80s?
I think so.
I think there is one that did. Yeah. So it was a lot of different people were fighting against the Soviet Union there. But one of them was this Afghan Maoist group that was financed by the People's Republic of China. And Chinese agents were training Mujahideen. There were training camps that actually trained some of the Afghan Mujahideen. Ostensibly, they were Maoist, but I'm sure that a lot of them that were fundamentalists slipped through there. But in the Xinjiang province, that's heavily Muslim, I think, is where it actually was. And there were actual like large fighting groups of Mujahideen that were trained by China during the Afghan war.
It's just like China training Russian soldiers now.
Are they actually doing it?
Apparently, yeah.
That's wild. It's kind of stupid of them.
I mean, Russia has been kind of a silent ally to Russia for a long time.
China, yeah, it's true. Well, hopefully that will be taken care of on the political landscape.
We'll see. I think I actually think that Trump has emboldened a lot of countries to treat him like a joke with how he handled Iran.
Iran thing. How he handled the Iran war.
yeah, the peace that he has achieved. I think it's just I believe that it will definitely embolden Russia to be more assertive in its demands.
Maybe, but I think that the core of this, what makes this an interesting war, different from others, is just how stupid it is. Like,
Yeah, but
he said, let's invade Iran. He probably said, let's overthrow Iran. The military probably told him it won't work because it's a decentralized kind of system. And he probably said, fuck it, let's do it anyways. And it gave him a global economic crisis. So I think
yeah, and
that,
then he just folded and
you know,
gave Iran a lot of Iran
mhm,
is now in a better position than it was before the war. So
definitely, yeah. Yeah.
so
But I still,
I
they
do
should
think
take
that it
any
will
peace deal that
embolden,
works.
you know, I do feel like it will embolden countries like Russia to be like, oh, okay, Trump just folded on everything with Iran. Why wouldn't he fold on everything with this?
Because he's already folded on those things, and the rest of the world has said no. I mean, that's really the answer. Is that, like, you know, he folded on Iran, but nobody else wants him to bomb them. So it's just he folded on something that's for himself. But like he can't really fold to Russia truly, because the people that are fighting against Russia is, you know, it's the union of different European states.
Kind
And
of, sort of. Europe has been sidelined as long
mm,
as the United States have been taking part in negotiations. Europe
mm,
has been sidelined from those negotiations. Like that's why when
mm,
Trump was involved in Iran, everybody was
mm,
saying, "Oh, now is the time for Europe to actually step in to the
right,
negotiations," right? Because they were sidelined
right.
for the longest time.
Yeah, but
That's tricky.
the U.S. Russian negotiations is meaningless right now. It doesn't have
Of
any.
course, yeah, it's dead in the
Yeah,
water.
it's a joke. I mean, it's like it's cosplay. You know, they're going there
Yeah,
to think that they're negotiating, but it's like nothing is being conceded or traded or really discussed. I think.
you got two rapid fire questions.
Okay, sure, go for it.
Has U.S. journalists covered the Epstein, and I'm pronouncing it Epstein, okay?
Okay, all right. All right.
Epstein class sufficiently critically?
See, I don't like the term Epstein class because it's like there's. You think poor people don't abuse kids? Like there's this app called Citizen in the US
Yeah.
that it shows you like the criminal records of people that are around you. And if you open it in any fucking neighborhood, there's like sex offender lists of people that live in the neighborhood, and in poor neighborhoods and rich neighborhoods, in any neighborhood.
It's really
And so
depressing.
it's depressing. Yeah, it's very sad. But I think that there's this like there's some kind of psychology behind people needing to think that the reason that child abuse happens is because of some kind of like structure that the rich have created. Like there's a lot of people that are really sick, and the ones that have money get away with it better.
To be fair, I
Like,
will say that in the case of Epstein, okay, I will say that there's definitely a difference between um, a person that is a sex offender and Epstein, because Epstein just turned it into a
yeah,
business,
business.
an industry, you know, so the
Oh,
scale
yeah,
is just
it's worse.
yeah,
The scale is worse for sure.
yeah.
But when people say, but people are acting like anybody that ever. I mean, if the guy like invited somebody over, he's like, "Oh, I cook the best steak in the world. Come have steak." Like the fact is that there's terrible people that do know people that don't know them for what their worst aspect is.
No,
So
sure,
it's
yeah.
like so I, you know, he obviously had this really serious sex trafficking operation going on. He obviously, it seems, had links probably to foreign governments, probably to Israel, probably to Russia also. You know?
Yep.
But the other things I don't like is I don't like how people are just. There's a lot of people that now that evidence has come out, it does seem that there's an Israel link, right? But before there was that evidence, people were just saying, "Oh, he's Jewish, it's Israel." That's not good enough. Sorry, you know, like there was people invented a lot of shit
I mean,
in
until you
in
have
the place of
evidence, it's
knowledge.
just speculation.
But now there's some good.
Yeah, I'm
It's
saying in
it's an
general, as
educated
a
guess.
general
It's
rule,
a
until
good
you
educated
get
guess.
evidence to stuff, it's just speculation.
Yeah, but people, you know, there's people that want to make it like a Jewish thing or like a,
Right.
you know, and I think that this was a guy that had a lot of money and was a pervert and tried to leverage power a lot, and that's a real thing. So I think what's revealing about it is that people are starting to realize that if you have enough money, you can buy your way out of a lot. Like
Oh, yeah.
people always knew you could buy your way out of a ton, but buying your way out of like mass rape or like mass possibly murder and stuff,
and keep in mind when
possibly espionage, I think people are a little shocked by how easily people with a ton of money could buy their way out of stuff that's like
and even when
literally
you're
unthinkable.
arrested as a like multi-billionaire, like when Epstein was convicted on the whole soliciting a minor to prostitution, right?
Right.
He basically, his deal with the prison was, you have to come back for the night to prison, but during the day you can just leave and work.
Right.
Like who else
you can do whatever you
get
want.
that treatment?
I mean, again, he was very well connected. But I think a lot of people have probably gotten those kinds of deals. I think a lot of people with money have gotten away with a lot of shit. And this was just one that was really obvious. So it's like now people are, I think people are asking a lot of the wrong questions. Like I think that there's an anti-Semitic angle to how people have reacted to this that's silly and scary. But also, I mean, but the right question to ask is, this person seemed to sometimes act on behalf of a foreign power, seemed to be doing a ton of sex trafficking, and he was able to fucking buy his way out of it.
Yeah.
And Trump is buying his way out of a ton of shit too. And so I think that what the real lesson from the Epstein files to me is, or the Epstein story, is that a guy with a lot of money can actually, you can really basically buy your way out of murder in this country. And I didn't, before this year, I didn't think you could really, I thought you could buy your way out of murder in like a obtuse way, or if you got lucky. But this is kind of revealed that you kind of can cut a check to the right point where you can get away with murder.
Yeah. I mean, Trump set up right that he could, so.
Yeah. And he's doing it. And the people that want to take it to like an anti-Semitic place should take a look at the kind of crime that's going on in other places. Like it's pretty clear that Trump has some kind of history of sexual abuse that is completely even unrelated to Epstein also.
Yeah.
You know, and so people are just, it doesn't have to be through the lens of Epstein that we discover that this guy is like a pervert and a bastard. Like it is what it is. And so when the whole Epstein class thing, what bothers me about using that term is that that's pretending that like the asshole that lives down the street from you in a poor neighborhood isn't also very likely a pedophile. Like there's a lot of that. It's everywhere. And so it doesn't, that disease isn't born out of like some power structure that you can destroy and then all the kids will be free and there'll never be any abuse. No, if you get rid of the power structure tomorrow, it's still a hard, painful, excruciating process to try and like account for justice and deal with children that are trafficked and shut down networks that abuse children and kidnap them. And it goes deep, but it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't go away with like a power structure changing. Like this is a societal problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But still, Epstein was sketchy and probably snitching for the Mossad and Putin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think they reflected in the files as well with Putin.
But I will say this though, I don't think that he was an agent of anybody. I think he was just his own guy. He's like, hey, I can fucking snitch to whoever I want. That's giving me so much leverage. This rules. Like, I just think I think those connections are there, but I don't think he was somebody that like, I don't think some spy master in Israel was like, ooh, I'm going to place this guy here to do that. No, I don't think that's what it is.
Wasn't
I think
there
that
a whole thing around Epstein where he wanted to, he saw himself as the Ubermensch and wanted to spread his genes to.
Yeah, he was like Charles Lindbergh, you know, like he's a crazy guy with a lot of money, and evil governments see a guy like that as someone that they'll work with. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, we got a question. Does Iran really care about Palestine? Seems Iran is rather hands-off.
But I can't speak for all of them, but the things that they ask for are never on behalf of Palestine at the end of the day. Like they could say, let's make an argument, right? They could say, we'll get rid of every single piece of nuclear material that we have if the United States votes to recognize Palestinian independence, right? They could do that. They could make any kind of demand. I will say the one thing is the fact that they're making demands on behalf of Lebanon, saying that Israel has to pull out of Lebanon, is something that the world probably needs right now. Like I'm glad, even though I have no support for Iran, completely fuck their leadership all the way to hell. But the fact that they're not backing down on Lebanon is probably better than if they were. And also fuck Hezbollah as well. I'm not,
Yeah.
no defense of there at all. Just Israel wants to seize Lebanon, parts of Lebanon, and it's no good. It's no good. And so, yeah, but so I think that the leadership probably doesn't care that much about the actual Palestinians. And also, they've participated in killing a lot of Palestinians. Like some of the human rights investigations that I've done have been into these ultimately Iranian trained proxy militias that kidnap Palestinians, kill them. There's a famous case in Syria of people that were rounded up from the Palestinian community in, I think they were Yarmouk in the same area, and they were just executed in reprisals by the Assad regime because the Assad regime knew that the Palestinian community there was hostile to it. So in retaliation, they just killed dozens of Palestinians in a single incident. So, Iran knew that this is the behavior of their proxies. A lot of Iranian-backed groups in Lebanon have waged war against Palestinian factions and against Palestinian population centers. During the 1980s, there's what's called the War of the Camps, when the different militant groups inside Lebanon started going to war inside camps that were hosting different displaced communities. And in those cases, some of the Iranian-backed militias actually carried out massacres inside the Palestinian camps. So this sort of animosity, this isn't something that's like just been newly discovered. They're not like Iran is not and has never been able to claim to just be the people that speak for Palestine. It hasn't been. It hasn't been there. Like if they were really fighting for Palestine, they would have fought a direct war against Israel. And what they've done is sort of this brinksmanship and these demands on behalf of their own proxies and political interests.
Perfect. All right. Do we have any for today?
I'd love to rejoin you sometime soon.
Very nice.
So for another stream,
Very
nice. I apologize. I'd stick around for like another hour or something, but the stores close here in about 20 minutes, and I'm not going to get to eat dinner otherwise. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure talking with you, Lucy, and I'll message you about some of the other stuff that we're working on.
Yeah.
A little later this year. All right.
Let me know about the article.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Godspeed.